Carolyn Koffler is 92. She walks a brisk mile or two several times a week.
I like to walk because it's one thing that I can still do in the way of good exercise. And you see all sorts of people as you walk, and that entertains me.
Today she is to be visited by her daughter, Marilyn Albert.
So you said you're very lucky that you don't have a lot of illnesses. What do you attribute that to?
Largely to my mother, who lived to be 99 years old and who lived by herself until 3 months before she died. And she was clear and alert and up on whatever was going on in the world around her up to the last. More comfortable.
Good genes you can't influence. But to age gracefully, there are at least 3 things you can do for yourself.
One is being mentally active. And we think it's not just that you have education when you're young, but that you keep on doing things that are on a daily basis challenging your mind and in the end making your brain consolidate more connections.
I am always reading at least one book at a time. Sometimes when the book is very long, as the one I just finished, I fit a small one in between until I have the energy to continue with the long book and finish it.
What we didn't used to appreciate was how important physical activity was. And now we're beginning to understand that when you're both mentally and physically active, those 2 things work together to increase the likelihood that you'll have less cognitive decline as you get older. The Tai Chi, I think, is very much related to physical activity, obviously, but the Tai Chi is probably also related to a mental activity as well, because there are certain principles that you have to learn and you have to keep them in mind. So it might be that it's both of those things in combination.
That was a good lesson, Lauren.
Okay, well.
And some of the physical activity is social. And so I think it probably also relates to this sense of being socially engaged and feeling good about yourself and feeling that what you do makes a difference in your life.
I run a private dial-a-ride service that my friends can call and tell me what appointments they have, and I'm ready to take them so that they can keep their appointments.
If you feel you can make a difference in the world around you and something bad happens to you, you're more likely to lower stress hormones in your brain by the fact that you feel as if you're doing something meaningful to influence your environment.
Breathe in and out.
An active body, an active mind, the luck of good genes, and social engagement all contribute to a healthy old age.
He keeps an eye on you, I'll tell you that.
I'm a scientist, so I wouldn't extrapolate on the basis of my mother and say that it had to be the things that she represents that enable you to live to an old age. But what is a lot of fun is to do a scientific study that involves thousands of people to come up with a finding that in some ways is surprising, and then to turn around and see that, in fact, it applies to my grandmother and my mother, and that it must, in fact, explain part of the reason they've lived to be so old so successfully.
I really enjoy the things that I do now, and that I do them perhaps with more vigor and more earnestness, because I know that it's going to help me continue to be healthy. But I also do it because it's fun.
I think what my mother is doing is absolutely perfect, and I don't think she's doing it because of me. I think it's the way she is,